Happy holidays, everybody. Dr. Klein reminding you that we're only in today from 9 to 11. So, get in early. I talked about accessory breathing muscles because my hands are hurting. Because really stiffness in the mid-back. A lot of people complaining about headaches, neck pain. This comes in winter time. We have trouble breathing from the diaphragm. So when we don't breathe from the diaphragm, we use accessory breathing muscles, which we'll go over here, and they kind of tighten up the rib cage. They tighten up our neck. So SCM attaches here at the collarbone, base of the skull here, and this can really compress the neck. We're using the scalenes as well, or also these from the front of the neck down here to the ribs. Also can get very tight. We're not going to foam roll those, but they can also cause compression in the neck, tightness in the neck. Another big one is the Pec Minor Muscle, which attaches to your choroid process here, attaches to the ribs. And this one can kind of round us a little bit. And if you've been watching the posture report videos, this is the cheerleader. She comes back a little bit. This disengages the diaphragm. It looks okay, but that muscle's still tight. We're just hiding it by kind of leaning back. But then we can't breathe from the diaphragm as well, so we tend to use those accessory muscles when we're in that bad position. And the traps too isn't really an accessory muscle, but take a deep breath in right now. If you did something like this, that's a very dysfunctional breath, and it's going to lead to a lot of tightness in the back of the neck, pulling on the skull, compression. And probably a lot of you have known, I'm digging my thumbs into your shoulder blades. It's not because I'm getting angry in my old age, it's because they're just so tight, and these shoulder blades are really stiff. They're not going to expand when we breathe. They're just going to be locked down and kind of fused to your ribs, and that's going to lead to a lot of trouble there as well. One of the other ones here is the Straightest anterior muscle. Attaches kind of the side of the ribs here, runs to the medial portion of the scapula. This is actually a weak muscle on a lot of people too, so I'll give you a little exercise, the scap push-up. Some of you are probably familiar with that one. But here's my foam roller that I use for these muscles. It's got some nice little prongs here, some nubs that you can dig into the muscles. It's a little stiffer than the white one we sell. The white one we sell is good for mobilizing the spine, but if you want to get some muscle release, especially in the legs, which we're not going to go over today, but as far as accessory breathing muscles, we can use this to release some of these. So let's bring you down to ground level. Stop nerding out about muscles. Let's see what we can do about it. Welcome to the floor. So let's start with the Pec Minor muscle. Now ladies, you probably won't like this. We don't have to roll a lot here, but just kind of getting into the top of that shoulder, opening up a little bit, and just kind of finding that spot and hanging out on it. You're not rolling like this. We're just kind of digging in, slowly dragging. When you find a spot, you can just kind of rock and back and forth on it. And you can also do like a doorway stretch if you don't want to put it directly on there. Foam roller here. Just kind of come up. Maybe open up a little bit. Yeah. Don't forget to breathe when you're doing these. That's a good little stretch there. Let's get the other side, even myself out. Probably find one that's a little tighter. You don't want to spend a lot of time. It's about 60 seconds of muscle. There we go, right there in the tendon. And just dragging into it slowly, putting your weight on it. Take a few breaths. From the diaphragm, hopefully. And that exercise again. Here. I guess I should lower that a little bit so you can see. There we go. Here's the exercise. Just pressing up. Fun one. Let's get the shoulder blades moving. Sorry about the camera angle there. Straightest anterior, but also lats, even rotator cuff, teres major. Again, kind of slow. You can see me there. Digging in, finding that spot. Little rock and roll. Oh, yeah. Almost like I'm trying to get underneath the shoulder blade, prying it away from the ribs. Then again, breathe. Let's do the other one. Maybe I'll give you a view from this angle. Yeah, I'm trying to set that up. Right there. Oh, yeah. And a good little exercise for the straightest anterior. You can do a little stretch here on this too. Just like that. Almost like child's pose. Get your spine really long. Stretch. And then you can do a push-up plus just on your elbows. That's target straightest anterior when you're driving up, lengthening. That's pulling the shoulder blades that way, kind of away from each other, kind of forward like that. You might notice that's similar to a lot of foundation training exercises. But that's a good little one to do. You got the stretch with the breath, prying those shoulder blades away from the ribs, and then planking. Doesn't really work because I got the wall behind me, but hopefully you can see the idea. General mobilization of the spine is good, especially upper traps since they're tight. Push the shoulder blades down, grab the head, little upper trap stretch right in there. A little trick for the scalenes and the SCM, which we talked about. So you just kind of hang off the end here. Press down. Careful, a little side to side's okay. Don't crank it though. And breathe. Anytime your knees are bent, it's gonna help breathe from your diaphragm more. Just really engages that. In the posture report, episode 5, we talked about gut connection to your diaphragm, breathing, and the motility it creates. So if you're helping your gut, you're helping your immune system, which will help you not to get sick this winter. So you can stretch traps, stretch scalenes, stretch SCM. Oh, it's all good. All right. Those are just some good options for you. One last thing I would say is in that position, pull the shoulder blade apart. Let's show you quick. So here we're kind of getting where I'm digging my thumb in a lot of people. Pulling that shoulder across, kind of weighting my left side where I'm pulling that shoulder, left arm. That opens up that subscap space a little bit between the ribs and the shoulder blade. That's actually where your serratus anterior attaches. Oh, when it's angry. Oh, that's really angry. If you're good with balance, you could even turn the foam roller long ways. Kind of rock a little side to side in there too. Pulling the arm across. Weighting the one side. And there we go. This one's not as bad. And then try some breathing after that. Maybe you should try some breathing first. How I breathe. Engage. Really tight. Expand the rib cage. 360 degrees expansion. Don't let the shoulders raise. Hopefully that helps, guys. Happy holidays. Hey guys, one last video. If you want to check out the last one on foam rolling, the accessory breathing muscles, loosening them up so we can activate the diaphragm, guess I didn't really talk about how we activate the diaphragm and some exercise you can do that. So I'm going to link some below. One is the Supine Swim, where you're laying on your back. And the other one is what we call the Woodpecker Exercise. What I like about this one is it's really good for the straightest anterior. So I'll just show you this one, then leave you to the videos. But we're pulling the shoulders kind of down, squeezing the elbows, and then breathing. And as we externally rotate the hands, we're really driving those forward in that woodpecker position where you're in split stance. The video will show you that more. I just wanted to show you that shoulder position where we're getting the chest up really high here, and then keeping that spine just really straight, pulling the hands out with the breath. So in the video, it's a inhale, kind of actively pulling the shoulders down, because that's a problem is we raise the shoulders when we breathe. So we want to pull them down, lengthen the neck. So when you breathe in, those shoulders don't come up, just the chest, just activation here. So we're pulling the shoulders actively down, exhaling, really driving those out, and you'll feel that tension, almost like you're peeling that scapula off the rib cage, opening everything up there. So just some good things to add, especially if you're foam rolling all the time. Like I was showing you, loosening things up, we also want to strengthen, especially the diaphragm. The more you use it, your body will naturally go to there, because that's one of those muscles that automatically happens, but we can think about it too. So the stronger it is, the more uninhibited it is, because if you're holding yourself here, you're not going to be able to lock in and grab it. So if we're able to engage, our posture's better, you're naturally going to use the diaphragm. If your posture's bad, you're out here, you're going to breathe from the shoulders, and you're going to tighten up your neck, rib cage, and your shoulder blades are going to feel fused to the rib cage there. So thought I'd add that on there. I'll link those videos down below right now.